What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Max and Ollie's Party Rental Podcast. Jim, how are you today?
Yeah, Riley, I'm doing really well. It was a great day. We're marching towards spring.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, the sun's a little bit warmer. The temperature's coming up. The snow's starting to melt. Life's getting pretty good here in the Northeast.
It's getting there. We're praying for some warmer weather.
Yeah,
right
it's
around
coming.
the corner.
It's absolutely coming. Sunglasses out. I love it.
Yeah, we're just about there.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well. Very stoked for another great episode of the podcast here. So last episode, you had made reference to one of your good friends asking you a really great question about the difference between a turnkey service versus a do-it-yourself type service. So what's the difference there? Why should you choose one over the other? And is the cost difference worth it?
Yeah, you got to be completely honest, Riley. It's a great question, and it's a great question because for a few reasons. And everybody's on a budget. I mean, we all have budgets that we're trying to build these parties around. And let's be honest, parties can get expensive. You save a buck where you can. And a lot of times people go ahead and they think to themselves, hey, you know what? I can get this bounce house, this moon bounce, I can get it for 30% off or 20% off or whatever the number is. And they're going to, you can save it if you drag it home and do it yourself.
Which is pretty accurate.
Yeah. And I mean, there's certainly value to that. There's value to that. It's real money. But what you're buying when you hire a turnkey service is definitely something to consider.
Mm.
Because I mean, think about it. You go to a local store, right? And not everybody owns a pickup truck. So you're there in your minivan, or your SUV. And you pop the hatch up, and the guys at the rental store, they're shoving this thing in the back of your car.
And your car's sinking down to the road.
Yeah, they're heavy. The shocks on your minivan or your SUV aren't designed to hold that much weight. These things are heavy.
Right.
And so you manage to get it in, and it's funny because I've got friends. We've got friends that rent this way. They do not set up.
Right. It's just two different styles. That's all.
So here are the things to consider when you're doing a moon bounce yourself, and you certainly can. But things to consider. Number one, moon bounces are ridiculously heavy.
That's a good number one.
Right? They're heavy, and
right.
And so you've got this idea that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in my trunk or put it in the back of the SUV. They weigh a few hundred pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And like the reason we can do it so fast and get it to your house and have it set up so quickly is because we have motorized dollies. We've got the right equipment to move it.
Right.
And I mean, you've tried moving them with a regular hand truck. It's with the small little wheels, little 4 or 5 inch wheels.
The wheels popped.
Right?
Yeah, the moon bounces are heavy. They really are.
And so number one, you get in the back of the van, and the van's running like this because you're dragging axle trying to get it down the road because it weighs 300 pounds or 400 pounds. And how are you getting it out once you get it to your house? And then you got to get to your backyard, and then you got to get the tarp. You got to lay the tarp down. And then you get the moon bounce into place, and you didn't realize that you have it backwards. So now you're rolling it back up and trying to spin it back around.
Mm-hmm.
And
your extension cord doesn't reach.
Yeah, you don't have enough extension cord, or you don't have the right gauge extension cord because you have to be, or you really have to use a thicker gauge, like a 12-3 gauge extension cord, which is something that not everybody buys when they have extension cords around the house. They usually typically got 14-3 or like sometimes even a 16-3, like a thinner cord. But these blowers draw so much energy and so much power that you need a thicker cord in order to power it properly.
Mm.
So you got the moon bounce in your house, you got it in the backyard, right? And then you get it powered up, you get it blown. Now you got to drive all the stakes and you got to secure it. Yeah,
yep.
And right?
Yep.
Right. So sometimes you got some states require those nice big thick 1-inch pins that you're driving in the ground. This
2 feet deep.
Yeah. So you need a large sled, it's large sledgehammers, and then you hit rock. So you got to find some sort of way to drill through the rock so you can anchor these things. You know, which everything that I'm talking about is what you get when you decide to go turnkey.
Are you advising against?
I'm not advising either which way.
Okay.
It's really completely up to the person.
Right.
Because you know, some people, like we say there, that you know what, they've got the pickup truck and they've got they've got the manpower to move these things around. They've got the equipment.
Right.
But
and save a buck where you can. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just know that it's going to cost you in physical labor.
Right. And then the other thing, what people forget, or maybe they miscalculate, is when you get it, they're wrapped up in these nice tight balls, right? And you unroll them and it unrolls. Putting it back in that nice tight ball, it's a skill. It is an art.
Yeah. Oh wow! Did it take us a while to figure it out?
All of you, all the operators out there that are watching this video, post pictures of your inflatable rolls in the comments below, because it's an absolute art.
It is an art.
That's how heavy these things are and how awkward they can be.
Right, like you said, the miscalculation. It's
yeah.
It can look pretty easy at surface value. It's not the most difficult thing in the world either.
Oh, no.
Like, you can totally do it, but there's, like you had said, there's certainly an art to it.
Yeah.
It takes practice and getting it back rolled up in the burrito that it comes. But like you said, you're not trying to sway anybody's decision.
No way.
You're just trying to inform.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got the manpower and you can do it, go ahead. Save yourself some money.
Right.
It makes sense.
So if you had to pick a few, what are the top reasons why you should go with a turnkey service instead?
I for everything that I just said, if you hire a good reputable company, you point and say, we'd like the inflatable there, and then you blink and it's set up and it's finished. And then after your party, you got to gather your trash and things like that, and then the same thing, you blink and it's gone.
Right.
And all of that labor and all of that frustration and all of the sweat is just you're hiring that piece out, and it's usually not a whole lot more,
right,
than buying it and doing it yourself.
Throwing the party, you have so much on your mind. You got so much going on anyway, so why not get one less thing off your plate?
No, exactly.
You have to worry about.
Exactly. So. It was a great question, and I'm looking forward to some more questions coming in.
Well, we're going to be talking everything. We got a whole load of things to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, as always, if you guys have any questions, do leave them down below in the comments below, or shoot us an email, give us a call, any of the sorts, and we would love to answer them on a future podcast, or we could just get back to you, one of the two. But we love the questions, and if you have any, definitely keep them coming.
Keep them coming. So. Yeah. So with that, I'm Jim.
My name is Riley.
And we are Max and Ollies Party Rental Podcast.
Dude, you really struggle saying that sometimes. But it is what it is.
So thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always appreciated.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.